Chris Olave. What you need to know about Chris Olave is he had this toe issue, right? And people were kind of freaking out. I think it was last week or a couple weeks ago, and he was working with the AT or the PT on the side. But he looked fine, right? From weeks 1 through 4, Chris Olave had a 25% target share. He had a 42% air yard share, and he had a 0.26 targets per route run, right? In week 5, he had 19% target share, kind of went down. He had a 41% air yard share, about the same, and he had a 0.17 targets per route run. So there was a little bit of an impact there for Chris Olave, but I don't think that it is too big of an issue. I did think that they were focusing on getting Michael Thomas the ball a little bit more, probably because of this toe issue. But what you need to know is that I do think that this is going to go, it's going to pass. I do think that Chris Olave is a stud. He's had bad touchdown luck. In fact, he was supposed to, I mean, I think correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it was last week, he did have that touchdown pass that he was going to count, but they ended up calling it back. So again, his box score would have looked a lot better last week if he didn't have that touchdown taken back. So buy Chris Olave.
No, but definitely buy Chris Olave. I mean, and actually it partly because also Derek Carr should be healthier, right?
Yes, Derek Carr should be healthier. This should be another week removed from that injury, and I do think that he's going to be ready to roll.
Okay, the next one, DK Metcalf, battling a ribs issue. There was a game where he just missed out on a touchdown where he kind of got a hit when he got hit on the ground. I know ribs can linger for a period of time, but I mean this Seahawks passing game has not taken off yet, and I think it's going to at some point very soon, maybe even this week.
Yes. Yeah, I do think that could happen. And the thing about DK Metcalf, right, is you might be worried about him. In 2022, he averaged 1.44 yards after contact per reception. In week 4, that number was just 1. He averaged just 1 yard after contact per reception. That is to me, a clear indicator that the ribs are an issue, right? If you're in pain, you don't want to take on contact. And when you do take on contact, you're a lot more liable to just fold over because of the pain, because ribs can last up to 4 weeks. He's been on the injury report with this ribs issue for since week 2, I believe it was. So even though he's still on the report with the ribs injury, I do think that the bye week gave him some time to get right. And I do think that with the 45-point over under against Cincinnati, I do think that this could be a get right spot for DK Metcalf.
Yeah, hopefully let's get some points on the board. Let's get this offense going. I mean, I know you being a Seahawks fan, but also so many people who had Geno Smith this year, had much higher expectations. I think it's coming. I've got a lot of DK Metcalf, so I'm definitely expecting more. Another guy that I've got a fair amount of, Jaylen Waddle. He came back from a concussion last week. Also had an abdominal injury. It's been a lot of things have contributed to a slow start, but man, I mean, to get any kind of piece of this offense at a discount, I think you grab it, especially with Achane being out for a period of time.
No, I think you nailed it. If you want a piece of a high octane offense, it's obviously going to put up points, then you need to absolutely go for it, right? So why is Jaylen Waddle a buy low to me? Here's why, right? So these are his numbers from every week that he was active. He's had the abdomen issue. He's had the concussion issue, right? He just has had a slow start because of the injuries. So, but every week that he was active, other than week 5, every other week that he was active, he had a 0.02 targets per route run. He had a 17% team air yards, and he had 16% first read targets. In week 5, that went up. So he has, that's when he had a 0.5 target per route run. He had 36% team air yard share, and he had a 32% first read targets. His first read targets went up by 16%, right? He doubled it. So this is all for fantasy points data. This is a buy. I really don't know what else to say. I mean, this is a buy low moment for Jaylen Waddle, right? Like his first read targets doubled, his air yards, more than doubled. You're looking at a guy who has absolute crazy high octane upside. I don't really have much else to add. Go get Jaylen Waddle. This is your opportunity potentially.
I mean, it's just, yeah. I mean, because he's going to have a blow up game, and then he's just not going to be available at that point. It's just, you're just not going to have it. And his blow up game could come this week. I mean, it's just, gosh, the Dolphins, they've got the weapons. people maybe trying to stop Tyreek Hill. Good luck with that. But also they've got Carolina in that banged up defense. The game is in Miami. I think every possibility. I think this may be the only opportunity to get Jaylen Waddle is at this point in the season. So because I think after this week it could be there it could not be happening when he goes for 150 yards and a touchdown. So get him now. Buy low.